guys, and welcome back to Mummy Cooks Homemade. You know, sometimes I can't remember what my bloody channel's called. Anyway, today I do know what we are making. We're going to be making some chocolate toffee bars today. You're going to need a 20 by 20 square tin, lined the usual. Screw it up, shove it in. You're going to need to preheat your oven, 170, gas marks, well, 3 to 4, depending on your oven really, and get that started. And this is a recipe, this is one of my, I write my recipes in here. This is one I ain't done for a while, so I thought I'd make this. Problem is I eat it all. It's not the kids, it's me. Oh well, I'll suffer just for YouTube, you guys. So, what you need for the base, you need 200 grams of butter, 50 grams of cocoa, 300 grams of caster sugar, 2 eggs beaten, and 225 grams of plain flour. So first what you're going to do, because it's this part that will eventually go into the base, and then into the tin, and then in the oven. It's like a chocolate cake. And your coffee will sit on top of that, and then there'll be a layer of chocolate above that. So, I actually lit the right one, I don't believe it. Right, let's melt this bad boy down. So we'll melt the butter down for the base. The filling, if you want to write it down while your butter's melting, or while you're watching, or whatever, if you decide to make it, is 125 grams of butter, 1 can of condensed milk, 2 tablespoons of golden syrup, 75 grams of caster sugar, and it does say 125 grams of toasted hazelnuts, but obviously I've had this and never given it to my kids because my daughter's anaphylaxis to nuts. So obviously she's never had this, so not with the nuts in. I don't usually put them in. I find nuts can be quite expensive anyway. But no, I don't normally put them in. But in my original recipe all them many moons ago, there was 125 grams of toasted hazelnuts chopped. I find this version without. More kid friendly anyway. They're not bothered about nuts, they just want the caramel and the chocolate cake. So, I've slowly melted all my butter now. In here I've got all my sugar and I've got the cocoa. So you want to put this in here. Mix it until all of your cocoa and your sugar is dissolved. Still keeping it on low. Make sure you're getting them edges. Already looks like a cake batter, doesn't it? It's not even got no flour in yet. The only raisin agent as well in this cake is the 2 eggs. So it will rise, but I would remove it from the oven just before it's finished cooking, because it will carry on cooking. You want it almost, I think, what's the word, brownie-like. So that's that. As easy as that. So I forgot to beat my eggs. There. This at the minute, you don't want to be adding raw egg into this. Leave it for a good 5 or 10 minutes just to cool down. Then add your flour in, which will help it cool down even more, and then your eggs, and give it a good mix through. I'll come back at that stage. But if you get to that stage before I come, before I do, just lob it in there. Right, so mine's cooled down enough now, I hope. And tip the flour in. Now I'm going to put the eggs on top of the flour. That's what I don't like about these recipes, you know, when you've got something hot mixed with something cold, especially when it's eggs. I always have the image of having half an egg inside whatever I'm cooking. You really do need to mix this really well. Butter. As soon as you put this into the oven, you could probably start on your caramel. How long's it going for? Let me check. Yeah. Gas mark 3 for 20 minutes. So I would start your caramel once you put it in. And go mix through. So all I'm going to do, put it into my lime tin. It must be lined, and you must have enough overhang that the overhang can pull out your cake, because the entire thing is made inside the tin, and you're working with caramel as well. And if you haven't got your greaseproof paper up the sides of that tin, good luck trying to get that out. Tap mine down a bit, since I don't lay my paper out properly, to make sure that's it, it's pushed all the way in. For once I'm lazy, and I did it properly, but never mind. So that's what you should have, a nice dark thick puddle. So bake that for 20 minutes and you can start your caramel. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, just wash out my pan, and then I'll be back to do the caramel. Right, I'm back to do the filling. It's all in this pan. Everything, when you measure it out, chuck it into your pan straight away. So, I'll go again. 125 grams of butter, 1 can of condensed milk, 2 tablespoons of golden syrup, 75 grams of caster sugar, and optional is 125 grams of toasted hazelnuts chopped up. I haven't done that because of my daughter. And I don't anyway, really, if you want the truth. I don't tend to put the nuts in. So, there's only really 2 pieces of advice I can give you when making a thick caramel that will stand on a bar when it's cut. Number 1, there's 3. Number 1, keep adjusting the heat. Number 2, keep stirring, because if you don't, that's it, it's going to burn. Number 3, don't walk away. The minute you turn your back, it'll have either bubbled over or burnt. And then you have to start again. Does it kill your arm? Yes, but it is so worth it. It's so nice. Could actually, with this caramel, if you wanted to, stick in some flakes of sea salt. That'd be nice. Turn that up a little bit. I always start it off low when I melt the ingredients and then just turn it up a bit. Just to really get it going really. This will take between 5 and 7 minutes. So make sure you've got 5 to 7 minutes. You've got the phone next to you if you need it, or you're expecting a call. Go to the toilet before you do it. I'm only telling you because I know from experience. Now there's my cat's back, that's why my dog's barking. I thought there was someone at the door. There's someone looking over the fence, which is rather rude, don't you think? You can just see through the window now. I don't know. People these days. Right, keep going. You want it to start bubbling. Bubbling, not burning. Please remember guys, the amount of time I've told you, like with any of my recipes, with the baking and that, is all down to the oven you've got. Your oven's not the same as mine, it doesn't heat or cool down at the same rate as mine. So don't take them times literally, check the food, your cake, fish, whatever it may be, and go off what you think, whether you think it's done or... Luckily I haven't had any messages saying, oh well that time was wrong. Well the thing is, use your own, I'm trying to think of the word, common sense, 2 words. Use your own common sense, test, if it's a cake, test it. You get the gist of what I'm saying anyway. Sometimes I give you a guide. Right, this is starting now. This is when it becomes dangerous. Let me see if I can bring you over a bit. You can see. This is the burning stage. We have to keep going. This is the point where it goes from this to really thick. In the blink. And it's also the stage where you splash that on yourself. You've had it. Ooh, it hurts. I would turn it down a bit because it's bubbling. You want it darker than this. That way, when it goes on top of the cake and into the fridge, it's going to set thick. You don't want it runny because that's not going to be a bar. You can still eat it, but probably with a spoon. You can hear it. Straight away it wants to start sticking to the bottom. This is thickening up. Still want it to go darker though. The darker, the thicker. And it's getting there now, it's turning darker. the lights on it from the overhead, so I don't know whether you'll be able to see that. I'll show you anyway before I put it on the pod. I'm stirring and it's getting so thick that I can actually see the bottom of the pan where I've stirred. But keep going. Persevere. It is well worth it. That's it. Still bubbling. Oh, you bugger. That is done. Still bubbling, the heat's off, look. That's how hot it gets. It's how hot it needs to get. Anyway, tell you well, that's there. I'm still waiting for my thingy to come out because my oven bloody turned off, or I forgot to put it on, one of the two. So it's still in there cooking. For your topping, you're going to need 200 grams. You can either use Old Dark if you really like dark chocolate, or 200 grams of milk chocolate, or 100 of each, and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and that'll make it shiny. And that is it. All you'll do is melt the chocolate down. When it's melted, add the tablespoon of oil and mix it through. Pour it on top of this, back into the fridge until everything's set. It's as easy as that. It's not a difficult recipe really. Put my old monkey. That's the first book out of, I think I've got 4. This is the second one. I don't know if anyone can see what I've written on it. If it's focusing. No. Chicken chorizo stew. What's that? Lemon cheesecake. Salty peanut butter brownies. Sausage and bean casserole. Coconut cupcakes. Wedding cake. What else have I got in here? Beer braised pork knuckles with garlic, apple and potato. Key lime pie. Eccles cakes. I've made them for years. American chocolate chip muffins. These will go to the girls along with the new ones. This is the latest one. So this has got the newer recipes in. Not many. There's only 26 in there so far. So I've still got to wait for mine in the oven. So I'll come back to you when I take it out and when we pour this onto the top. Okay? Right guys, so it's out the oven. Red hot. All you're going to do is take your caramel, Make sure it's well spread out. Right, this is what we should be looking like now. You've got a thick cake layer, it's like a brownie. Then you've got your caramel. Once this is cold and been in the fridge, then you'll add on your chocolate layer. So this has got to be left to cool down completely now before you put it in your fridge. Don't put hot things into your fridge, guys. So that can stay there and cool down. I'm going to run off with this spoon right here, and I'll be back when we do the chocolate. Right guys, so I've got it out the fridge. And this is literally the worst bit, cutting it, because it's chocolate. Let's have a go. See if we can't take some pieces off without trashing it. See, look, it's already cracking. This is the worst bit. You got all that effort to make a nice top, and it does that on you, but ooh, look at that fudgy. There you go. Look at me fingers. There you go guys, so that is what you should be looking like. These will be cut into squares and rammed in my mouth. No, seriously, they'll be cut into squares, probably rammed into my mouth, but not all at once. The kids will get the opportunity to maybe have one. So that's the chocolate toffee bars. It should be really fudgy, that cake at the bottom, almost brownie like. So there you go. Zoom in a bit. There you are. That layer of caramel, which is the best bit, with the chocolate on top. Prepare to have a packet of baby wipes next to you when you eat it. It's so nice. Anyway guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much if you got to this part. Please like, comment and subscribe. Could I ask that you please turn on your post notifications so that you will get notified every time I upload a new video. Anyway, there you are. If you're not drooling at this point, there's something wrong with you. I'm literally wearing a baby bib. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.